Saki at a glance. In the tapestry of literary history, there is one thread that stands out because of how smart and charming he is. Let us take on a trip through Saki's life, showing us his early years, life events, sources of inspirations and challenges, his unique writing style, famous works, and the lasting effects of his writing. The mysterious writer, who was born Hector Humanrow, spun tales that tickled the imagination and provoked thought. The story of Hector Humanrow starts on a faraway beach in Burma, where he was born on December 18th, 1870. He was the third of three children born to Charles Augustus Monroe, an officer in the Burma police, and Mary Frances Mercer. Fate gave him a hard hand early on when his mother died just 2 years after his birth and he had to live with his strict grandmother. The untimely death of his mother cast a shadow on his formative years, but it also deepened his bond with his eccentric family, who played a significant role in shaping his unique perspective on the world. From the earliest days of his childhood, Saki displayed an insatiable curiosity and a sharp intellect. Raised by his grandmother and aunts, his imagination was nurtured by their enchanting tales of mythical creatures and grand adventures. Saki's education began at Pincarwick School in Exmouth and later at Bedford Grammar School. Despite showing his promise in academics, he was a restless and mischievous student. Saki's education, though sporadic, was rich with influences that would mold his writing style. It began at Pincarwick School in Exmouth and later at Bedford Grammar School. Despite showing promise in academics, he was a restless and mischievous student. He spent a lot of time in the Edwardian world, which gave him a lot of ideas, and his rebellious nature often got him into trouble with school authorities, but it also revealed the early signs of his wit and penchant for storytelling. His schooling was largely unconventional, marked by fits of boredom and a taste and sense of detachment for formal academia. Yet, it was during these periods of introspection that Saki cultivated a taste of literature and developed an affinity for written word. He was drawn to the works of Wilde, Twain, and Kipling, whose wit and satirical prowess left an indelible mark on his creative psyche. In addition, his love for animals and pets is evident in some of his stories, which animals play significant roles such as Srednivishtar and Tobermory. At times, the rules of his time limited his imagination and made him temper his biting wit with a pinch of caution. Still, this combination of self control and creativity helped him grow into a great writer. Saki's adventures at boarding school sharpened his wit, and Edwardian social rules added a touch of satire to his view of the world. His life was not without its share of challenges, to which he put to good use and served as his inspirations and influences in his literary works. He experienced the turmoil of the Boer War, which forced him to leave his beloved England and embarked on a new journey in Burma. The juxtaposition of British imperialism and the exotic landscapes of the East further ignited his imagination and lent depth to his storytelling. Saki's journey took him on a merry-go-round of diverse pursuits, from the hallways of journalism to the crossroads of foreign letters. He collected experiences like a magpie collecting shiny things. As a journalist, He was exposed to the harsh realities of war and conflict while covering events in different countries, covering the Balkans, Russia, and Paris, experiences that may have influenced some of his darker and more satirical stories. His trips to the Balkans and Russia gave him a rich knowledge of different cultures. Saki's return to England marked a pivotal turning point in his life. Armed with a wealth of experiences, he embarked on a career as a journalist and a short story writer. His writing style was marked by a keen observational eye, razor sharp wit, and a penchant for social commentary. His stories often featured characters from the upper echelons of society, satirizing their pretensions, hypocrisy, and absurdities. But it wasn't just the written word that touched Saki's heart. His love of the great outdoors and interest in animals gave his stories a touch of the beauty of nature. Tragically, the outbreak of World War I ultimately took his life, shot by a sniper, and his body was never found. Saki's pen moved with a unique style, and he wrote stories that make people think. In his work, he mixed humor, irony, and sharp observations. He showed how silly Edwardian society was through figures like Reginald and Clovis. Collections like Reginald and the Chronicles of Clovis showed how talented he was, giving him a place of honor among the greats of literature. Saki's influence shines like a lighthouse, encouraging writers to use the pen for both fun and serious purposes. Irony, foreshadowing, satire, and anthropomorphism are his mostly frequently used literary devices. These literary devices are present and noticeable in his famous works such as Srednivashtar, Tobermory, The Interlopers, The Open Window, and The Storyteller. The Interloper story was about a long-standing feud between two families that takes a surprising turn when they become trapped together by a fallen tree in the woods, while the open window these tales revolves around a young girl who spins a chilling ghost stories that has a profound impact on his visitors and last last but not the least, the storyteller. In this humorous story, a bachelor tries to entertain a group of unruly children on a train journey by telling them a tale with a lesson. As we close the book on Saki's life, we find ourselves in the company of a man who turned dreams into words and laughter into writing. Saki's impact on English literature has been enduring. His mastery of the short story form and his ability to infuse humor and satire into his narratives have influenced countless of writers over the years. Like sparkling gems, his stories continue to amaze and please. Let's celebrate the heritage of Saki, who wrote funny prose and influenced people all over time and space